As this was totally impromptu and I just heard about it 3 minutes ago, total lie. I really didn't have a whole lot of time to get anything prepared or, what am I going to say, after, 8,000 days plus or minus a few days of working here at Toromont. I was trying to, get some paperwork in that together a little bit, but, since Haley happens to be right beside me here, since she's hustling my ass out of my office. I basically had to go to my second office. In my second office, I found a little paperwork. So I wrote down a little list of things that I want to the people that I want to thank, over the next little bit, which I'm not going to do. I want to appreciate the time that we've had conversation with the vast majority of you. For those that I haven't had chats with, in the past, you're probably coming for the cake. That's fine. You're welcome here no matter what. But I'm the man of the hour here. That's what's happening. But I'm sure the cake is all worth you, spending a few minutes hanging in here. What I wanted to, what was really on the top of that list, I wanted to go through in chronological order. It's not going to take more than 40 minutes, I promise. And that is really starting kind of the very top. The first person I want to thank is with Louis the 14th. Louis le Grand is really what it was, and in 1650 he allowed my ancestor to get onto a ship and basically he was probably kicking the Gosselins out from Normandy and get the hell out of here, and they came to this new world, and landed in this place now called Quebec City. But how about if I just skip 4 centuries and I come right into Toromont here? What the toughest part is going to be here is me trying to jerk a tear, because I'm not good at it. The last time I cried is when my dog died. No, it was sad, but and nothing else. That's how embarrassing that is for me to jerk a tear. Is that I hate the idea of retiring. That you go, a lot of you guys would maybe be willing to switch with me right now, saying, "Can we just kind of do the swap and I can figure this out." The reason that I hate it currently is because usually if you're going to stop doing something, it's because you didn't like it, you hated it, you want to get away from it. That's typically going, I'm stopping. Like all of us have done at least 3-4 times going to the gym. You're just going, you know what, I'm going to keep paying, but I'm not going anymore. I don't like it. It just hurts. So stopping to do something of the 40 years that I've had, or, rounding error, rolling up to 40 years of all the departments that I've worked in, from corporate. It was only really corporate and power systems. The people that I worked with, the areas that I managed, the people that reported through to me, I loved doing it all. So you know what? It's pretty hard to quit something if for some reason, you're Mr. Universe and, you're really pumping it up at the gym. You're going to keep going to the gym. Well, in my particular case, not the gym. In my particular case, I just love what I'm doing. I always have. A little bit of my personality, quite possibly, always having said yes to anything and everything. I think I said no to Adam once, but it didn't go over all that well. One little request and I went, why? I was just sounding like a 3-year-old baby, but that's about it. Other than that, I always said yes to everything. And for those that have not been around quite, 8,000, days in Toromont, that is certainly something that I would leave you with, a few of those parting words, is that just saying yes to whatever needs to get done. For someone who came out of college, I worked in the oil fields and in Australia and a few other places with some oil companies, but when I came here, I always said yes to everything, from whatever the job was requiring in that little thing called the job description, really without some, real heavy black lines, although some gray areas. And if for some reason we had Joe Crothers, who was Mr. Anal, super clean, this place got to be cleaned up. Why? Because my wife's pet owner is coming over and the place needs to be impeccable. Somebody needs to go out there and start sweeping all around the shop and go, you need to get it done? I'll get it done. And so I never said no to anything. And I think there's been some good dividends, that came out from that, right? So from the time of coming in, pulling wrenches in the truck shop, and then opportunities that came up, into training, tech services, et cetera, to what is pretty well what I've been doing for the last 15 years, even though I did go into UKG a couple of times going, holy shit, you guys have given me a lot of titles that I wasn't even aware of. Right? I keep doing the same thing, but all these titles keep changing, going, yeah, whatever. It just, you get done. I never really thought about the parameters of a role. It was the parameters of what am I expected to do? I'm gonna do it not to 100%, I'm gonna do it at least 110%. And, you know, things have worked out well. You know, it's put my kids through college. It's, you know, kept me with a good enough work-life balance that most of my kids didn't end up in jail or anything like that. So, you know what? Overall, it's been a really good, no, none went to jail yet, right? But if anybody, it's probably going to be me in the near future, right? As I'm doing this, I'm planning on at least kind of our first year, Marilee and I have pretty well, you know, the first 9 months kind of, you know, figured out. We'll be out west, renting a place for a month or so out in Peachland, just outside of Kelowna, really starting to try and figure out how do I not think about Toromont a lot while I'm on vacation. It's going to be new to me because I don't do that very well. It's always on my mind. Michaela and I were just kind of joking about that a little. I just can't turn that off. It's not that easy, and I've only been doing it for, you know, rolling up to 39 years and a bit. It's not easy to stop thinking about what I need to get ready for on Monday or on Tuesday, but I'm gonna put on my big boy pants real quick and I'm gonna figure that shit out, right? I promise you that. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to come here and make sure that you don't just take one piece of cake. Somehow these cakes keep, like, it's like 500 slices or something like that. The last time I saw it, how the hell did that feed everybody? It was kind of a Jesus moment, right?
Yep, yeah.
But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it, and have a good piece of cake.